Okay, so we are recording now. So who would like to recap?
We went to the Fallen and we visited the Blue Temple Arms and got a little more information on the different sort of gangs of Reavers. We then tried figuring out where the Reavers were so that we could bypass talking to the Silver Flame woman, Thaela. But we wound up getting into a fight and realized that we couldn't just directly approach this fortress-like structure they were living in. So we wound up going back, ultimately talking to Thaela, who didn't really have a whole lot more information, but did know a safer route to help us get to the fortress-like thing. So we wound up taking her advice on that. She didn't seem to know that much about the wisdom of the past or why they might want a piece of a statue. But we were headed back in that direction and had opened like the door to this, or had seen through the door in some way to this structure. I think we saw a bunch of stone statues. And that's where my notes stopped.
Yep. And during the battle, it was pretty clear that they were trying to drag Jofar away, possibly to throw him into some kind of stew. Who knows?
Where everyone wants Jofar. He's ours, though. They can't have him.
And you guys did take a short rest
Yes.
in a one of the broken, abandoned buildings.
Yep.
And there were like different gangs. One was the Blood Drinkers, and one was the Night Stalkers, and one was the Stone Keepers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were the three that were clearly identified.
And the Night Stalkers are supposed to be more intelligent. And the Stone Keepers are, I got sophisticated.
Yeah, so the Stone Keepers are the ones that may have the ability to actually communicate. According to Phala. Let me just double check that.
I like to think they have monocles. That's their one element of sophistication.
Top hats and monocles.
Otherwise, they're the same rapey cannibals as the rest of the Reavers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're the ones that are a bit more sophisticated. They may have monocles, they may not. They are the ones that are, Phala said, are, if you're going to be able to communicate with any of the Reavers, they're the ones that you're going to have more success. And they are also, just based on the name, they're the ones that are more likely to be directly involved in trying to seek out these stones. The other Reavers are not as organized and more feral to some degree. And yeah. So you guys have, it's still the same day as the last game, which, according to my records, which I unfortunately don't have.
Darren Tara 4.
There you go.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
And and as I said before, because of the nature of this place, a lot more of it is exposed to weather than most other parts of Sharn. And it is a pretty clear, calm day, thankfully. Probably at about this time, because of the time that you spent traveling to Fallen, as well as your encounters at the tavern and with Phala, and then also taking your short rest after battling with some of the Reavers that you encountered. It's about evening. It's probably twilight, maybe even a little bit darker. several of the moons are out, but it's a cool, crisp night. Uh, if you weren't going into some mysterious broken fortress, it would be probably a pretty pleasant night. Um, so the vast doors of Colerac, Colrac, Colerac Hall fell from their hinges decades ago. Beyond them is a long entry hall. The walls are bare, the carpet is stained and rotting, and the only source of light is what ambient light that trickles through the open front doors, which, as I said, because it's twilight at this point, there's not much light in there. The only sound is the scuttling of vermin within the shadows. You do see 3 statues of men and women standing on either side of the hall, mostly marred beyond recognition. So how do you guys approach entering this place?
And so the entrance hall is a center entrance, and then it spreads out to the left and right and around like a square.
Yeah, but you guys haven't gotten that far in. It's still pretty dark within. So you can probably because the doors are pretty much rotted off. Without even entering, you can see probably about 10, maybe 15 feet into. Shit, sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta take my chicken out.
That's code for something.
Yeah, is that code for something?
Oh no, the girl's still there, but I don't see the cat any longer.
No, there's the cat right there.
Yeah,
is it?
in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. It was a very small on my screen. There we are.
See, I don't stealth very well. So walking in is probably as good as I'm going to do. I mean, I could try stealth, but I'm just not very adept at it. I have a +2, but I also have a disadvantage.
I can try stealthing, and I also have dark vision, which will help a lot.
The dark vision will help. So sorry about that. So as I was saying, it's the entryway is probably it's around 10 feet wide, and you can see about 10, maybe 15 feet into it. And so within the shadows, you can see clearly a couple of statues lining either wall. But beyond that, it gets a little bit murky. Now, Solana, since you have a bit of dark vision, you can see a bit farther in. So I am going to privately message you what you see.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a hole in the door already that's big enough, you can lift up and shove one 5'5" half-elf girl through it. I can stealth around in there looking around, but so we don't make a bunch of noise smashing down a door to begin with.
I mean, for that matter, I think Joe Farr, being a ranger, probably could also stealth around.
Probably. I worry he might announce himself and mention the Fourth or Fifth Amendment.
What's all this sneaking around for? Just go in.
Oh, okay, I'll look at them. There appears to be another wall that isn't like the rest of them, just inside, a short ways. Seems to be different, perhaps newer, or perhaps just a different material.
Does it have graffiti on it?
Penises, lots of penises. So there's also a bunch of glass, so I don't think we can be very quiet even if we wanted to. So our best bet's probably just to head on inside.
I mean, did you see anybody in there?
No.
Have we thought about knocking?
Well, that would not be a good idea.
It would probably break the door.
We don't want to see people in there.
Then they'll come out. They won't be hiding.
Yeah, and they'll come out in numbers that we can't necessarily handle. Were you there for the fight this afternoon?
I sure was, and I'm still here, ain't I?
Oh, how about this? Why don't you go up and knock, and we'll wait and see how that works.
That sounds like a plan. I go up there and knock.
The door falls off. What remains of the door, anyways.
Your door is broken.
And there's
Need to fix it.
There's a big puff of dust as it collapses with from probably what is some kind of wood rot. It doesn't smell very good.
I'll start heading on inside, being careful not to step on any nails because I don't want to get tetanus.
All right, so Solana,
I'll go up and point out that somebody's going to be on the hunt for the vandal who destroyed this door. Probably going to be an obsession for him till they find the culprit.
It looks like faulty workmanship. Or they didn't keep it up. You gotta take care of things with how they last.
I mean, it was pretty dark, so I couldn't see clearly. I assume who's ever behind the graffiti also did in this door.
You're probably onto something. I'll make a note of it.
I'll slip past the two of them and try to make my way in, stepping on as little glass as humanly possible.
okay.
I am at this point just imagining a very long, drawn-out interrogation of Joe Farr by himself. Where were you when the graffiti occurred?
And he has good cop and bad cop at the same time interrogating him.
Don't bring my mother into this.
Oh shit.
All right. So Solana, you as you slip in, you notice that the broken glass is not. It's not until you get about 25 feet in that the glass starts to become a problem. It seems to have mostly pulled within 15 feet of this strange wall up ahead, and where the wall meets the floor, there's significant stone rubble, and even as it goes up, you realize that a lot of the ceiling has broken away, letting in streams of faint twilight. So given what you're seeing, it's very likely that what you're seeing ahead of you is the beginning of the spire that actually crashed into Colrock Hall.
Yeah,
and the glass that is in that area is the broken glass of the glass tower.
Mm-hmm.
And how long ago did this happen? This was like
120,
No, it was like 80 years ago.
80, yeah.
think after all this time they could pick this shit up.
Is there a bunch of dust everywhere in here? Or does it seem relatively, trodden in areas where glass
No,
looks stepped on or something?
no, there's a good amount of dust, especially so walking in to your right, uh, there's a wall that so where you some from the outside you would expect that the other half of the hall is to your right, but as you look to the right, it's just absolutely destroyed rubble. You can some of the walls have survived, but you can see beyond the walls because of the holes within the stone, and it's just completely destroyed to the point where it's not even passable, unless you were like the size of a rodent or something. Um, to your left, there is a hallway that goes down quite some ways. And within the glass, you can see areas that seem to have different colorations, just because of the lack of light and the quality of dark vision. You don't really get a whole lot of information from that, so you can't tell what color those colorations are, but you can see some color variations within the glass, and you do see some it looks like attempts to carve into the wall beyond the glass, but the images don't really make a whole lot of sense to you. It's mostly just looks to be lines at different angles, and in different configurations, but it's not really in any kind of pattern or image that makes any kind of sense to you.
Okay.
For everyone else that's in the room, you're able to maybe see or like a few feet in front of you, but it's really dark in here. Like you can see by some of the streams of light that cascade down through the broken ceiling. But other than that, anybody without dark vision is really unable to see much. And also, Solana, where the glass is, it's not just like as if somebody broke a pane of glass on the floor. In some sections, the glass seems to be in piles up to a foot thick. It's a ton of glass.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot of glass. If either of you happen to have a light source, it would be a good idea to go ahead and activate it now.
I light one using my torches.
Okay. So you light one of the torches, and immediately the glass kind of dazzles with the light, reflecting the firelight off of it. A lot of the glass it's not just a single color. It's not just clear glass. It's lots of different colors. Lots of different kinds of glass are mixed in there. And then that's when you notice, once the glass is illuminated, that there are some of the color variations that Solana you had noticed actually appears to be dried blood of people who seem to have previously tried tromping through the glass.
Does the blood continue left?
I'm sorry?
Does the blood continue on a path to the left, which I saw the hallway for?
No, you don't notice any blood down that path or down the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
But down the hallway, you're able to see a little bit more clearly now that there's light. It does end in a dead end, but it does appear like there may be some doors on either side of the hallway.
Okay. I would suggest that we head to the left this way. Should I take the lead?
No, Joe can take the lead.
Not a problem.
All right. So
I would be at the back. Actually, this is probably the reverse order. It should be since Joe's the ranger. But my point is, I would want the kid in the middle.
So as you make your way down the hallway, you notice the first door that you see is on your right. And unlike the entry hall of Colrock Hall, this door seems to be fairly solid. Okay.
So I am expecting Joe Farr to go and try that door, but we'll see what Joe Farr does because he's in the lead.
I'll knock on it. 4 Dagger Core here.
All right, so you don't get a response.
Does the door open in or does it come out this way?
It opens in.
So I just push it and then step to the side.
Okay. Nothing seems to happen in response to you opening the door.
And then I peek around.
Do you peek around with the torch?
Of course, so I can see.
Okay. So this room is probably, you'd guess, to be about 15 by 20 feet. What would once have been probably a library. The walls seem to at one time have been lined with shelves, which now lie in disarray. Many of the shelves are broken. Some of the shelves actively seem to have been not just broken by wear and tear, but maybe even purposely broken.
The worst kind.
And the pages have been torn from books, bindings ripped. A lot of the books seem to have been rotted into pulp or converted into nests by industrious rats. But it doesn't. You don't appear to see any creatures within. There's also no windows or anything. Everything is just a solid wall.
I turn back. Don't go in there. It's too horrible inside.
Dun, dun,
Needlessly destroyed books. You're muted.
All right, new marching order. Silhana, you can go first. I'll be right behind you. Joe, you take up the rear.
Not a problem. Can I reach in and grab one of these books on the shelf before I walk out?
Sure. Actually, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay, I'm at disadvantage, right? Because I have 1 level of exhaustion.
Yes.
Oh, hell's bells, man. I got a 23.
All right. So you reach in for a book just expecting to find some random piece of garbage. But this one actually looks like a good one. The binding is still very well intact. The book is not bound with normal hard tack or it's actually bound in leather with metal corner protectors and very, very decorated. And as you wipe the dust off of the cover, it says, "The Kings of Galifar."
Hmm.
And if you were,
It's not a Harlequin romance, is it? For my mother, of course.
it is not a Harlequin romance from the look of it, but um, it
Closer to future.
also if you look within the first page, it indicates that it's also a first edition.
Ooh. I think I know someone who might be interested in that.
I will delicately pocket that and join the rest of the group and close the door at the horrible sight of the damaged books in this once library. For we can see what has happened to the occupants of this place and their disrespect toward the pursuits of higher learning. It's sad.
It is.
I wipe away a tear.
Okay,
All
then.
right.
I'll continue on.
All right. So, uh,
Quick question. This hallway, is there glass in it as well, or did the glass end back further?
there's no glass down this hallway. No.
So
And
there's-
as you go down, you see another door on your left, and then as you look down further, you see one more door to your right.
Okay. I'll go to the door on my left, and does it have a door handle, or is it just a push? Or both?
There is a door handle, but it looks to have been broken.
And it's a push, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll push it open then.
Okay. So this room is much larger than the last. This is about probably goes the entire length of the hallway, which is about 40 feet, and then about 20 feet wide. And it seems to have once been a grand feasting hall, but now you just see rats and vermin crawling over many things, especially as you open the door. How did you open the door, by the way?
I put my hand to it and I pushed it open all the way.
Okay. So as you did that, and especially because even though Jofar is towards the back, there's still the light that of the torch, though it's dimmer from here, but that causes many of the vermin to scatter at that point. You see that benches and tables have been knocked over, some broken, seemed like actually broken for kindling. And towards one far corner, you see that there's, it's actually seems to have been smoldering.
Mm-hmm. Do I see it smoldering and there are still rats everywhere? Oh, shit. Okay, do I see any human remains or humanoid remains in here?
Mm-mm.
No? And it's just, is there any remnants of food or anything, or is it just rat's nests?
It seems to be just rats.
Mhm.
But go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. My investigation. That is a 23 total.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wondering if these rats are industrious, like the ones that destroyed the library.
Bunch of capitalist rats. How dare they?
ROUI. Rats of unusual industriousness.
I go ahead and I step out. And I put my finger to my lips and go, voices. And then I peek back inside. Did I hear where they were coming from? Oh. Mm-hmm. I motion backwards for them to take a few steps back from where we're standing.
I would do that.
Yeah. Then I'll follow up and go, there appear to be some voices from behind fallen tables inside. Grunts and other things. There's also a smoldering fire there.
Just checking to see if I have fireball. I do not at 3rd level. Does it appear as though, I would whisper this question to Sohana, but does it appear as though there's any other way out of that room? Because I assume she didn't see, like, the statue hand that we're looking for.
Well, on top of that desk was a statued hand just sitting there, playing a piano by itself. It's kind of weird.
So I don't know that we need to get into this fight with whatever may be hiding behind the tables. We could probably just move on, unless like it looks like there's some other path that goes through there, in which case we still might want to come back. But
Well, do we have carpenter's tools and we can just nail them inside and keep them trapped in there?
So Solana didn't notice any entryway or exit within that room. It seems that the door that she entered through was the only place.
and I would suggest we move on to the next door.
That makes sense to me. I'll start walking up there again, and I'll go up to the edge of the door and peek inside. Do I see any movement or anything?
Mm-mm.
Then I'll reach in and close the door.
I think to myself, am I the only one who listens at doors? Do we have to open every door first?
Yes. Yes, we do. It's a requirement. Yeah, so I'm going to shut the door and walk past.
Okay. So then walking down the hallway, you see one final door to your right.
I'll go up and listen to the door because it was suggested by someone far smarter than I.
Give me a perception.
Oh, dear. That's a plus 17 total. Yep.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, so you hear some skittering and chirping, it sounds like. But like a deep and louder chirp than you might expect.
Do we all hear this?
Do you have, no, just Silhana, who's listening to the door. Silhana, do you have proficiency in nature?
Let me take a look. I do not think so, though. No, I do not.
Okay.
From that description, a deep chirp. I'm sure my character didn't hear it, but can't help but just think it must be Puddle Hopper.
Oh, Puddle Hopper.
That's impossible. Puddle Hopper would have nothing to do with magic. Let's see here. I hear a rather loud chirping sound and some scuttling on the other side of the store. Any of you familiar with birds?
That's right up my alley.
Oh, you know birds well?
Of course I do.
Would you like to lead the way?
Yes, let me listen at the door. See what I find.
So, Jofar, go ahead and you have not you have proficiency in nature, right?
No, I don't. Survival.
Viable.
He is aware that the bird is the word. He figures that's enough.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, survival wouldn't do it.
As long as it's surfing, we're good.
But since you're a ranger, and particularly an urban-based ranger, I'll allow you to roll a wisdom check.
Roll for pigeon cockatrice.
Is it, do I have disadvantage? Just regular straight up wisdom roll?
It's a straight-up wisdom roll, but because you have a level of exhaustion, it is at a disadvantage.
Wow. 19 total.
Okay. Okay. We have two BN Drakes, so I don't know which one is the right one to send this to.
I will change my name.
I will change my name as well.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
I just assumed since when I came on there were two BN Drakes, we were all doing BN Drake night.
Yeah, I thought so.
All right.
Okay. I look back at the group. They're not birds. Big rats. Dangerous.
There was another hallway, right? With like glass.
No, that hallway was opposite of this one, but it's impassable based on the rubble.
Yeah. Giant rat. So we have a choice. We have people grunting and making sounds, or we have giant rats. What do we prefer?
I think we prefer to, now that we've determined there's no people in this room, we probably can afford to open the door, crack, and shine the light in and see what's there. Hopefully the rats won't charge the fire from the torch.
They're aggressive, though.
That's why we have you up front.
Are these rodents of unusual size?
So do I know anything more about these creatures other than what you wrote? Okay.
Mm-mm. And you don't necessarily know that these ones are aggressive, but in your experience, these larger ones are typically much more aggressive. Because as an urban ranger, I imagine that you're used to seeing large rats.
That's right. Bite your head off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so I will take a step back and kick the door in if I can, and stick the torch out with my hammer in one hand, back ready to strike.
All right.
And meanwhile, I facepalm because I was now imagining cracking the door to see what's in there so that the rats can't get out necessarily if they are aggressive.
Yeah.
Also, not alerting the people behind us to our being here.
When he brings the torch in after breaking the door, I'll go on the other side with my Mossberg and just start lighting them up when I see them.
It's also at this point that just because you guys didn't hear anything other than the chirps and everything doesn't mean that there wasn't anything else in there either. Yeah. So here we go. First of all, give me a strength or athletics check at disadvantage.
Even better. You just alert everyone.
Then roll a noise check.
11.
All right, because it's a broken, rotted door, that's sufficient to kick it in. But it doesn't kick in the way that you would expect along the hinge. It just cracks right down the middle, and the one part goes flying, and the other part flies in. So now, even if you wanted to, you couldn't close this door back up.
Does he now have to fight with the door to see if he's grappled by it? And his leg's stuck in there and can't get it out.
Oh, that would be good. No. Had he failed by 1 or 2, maybe. But yeah, you see a bunch of rats the size of small gnomes, and they squeal. Jofar, can do something before we roll initiative.
Let's see here. So I don't know if I can do that.
Now, you'd both be aware of this. I do have 4 flasks of oil if we need to burn the place down with me.
So, I mean, how many, can I see how many are in here? Like, have I any idea?
It's a handful. Quick check would be, well, okay, I'll just give it. There's 5 of them.
Shit.
Okay. All right. I'm going to drop my hammer and quickly reach into my pouch and pull out my ball bearings and throw it into the room.
Okay.
I don't know how many ball bearings that is. Supposedly, it says
usually 1,000.
Right.
Right,
So I don't
but
know what.
It's a handful. I imagine you couldn't, unless they're really small ball bearings. You're probably not grabbing a whole 1,000 in your hand.
I just assume people take the bag and like flip the bag out.
Flip it empty, yeah.
Right. So you hold the bottom of the bag basically and dump them all.
Is that what you were doing, Jofar?
Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine.
Okay. out what ball bearings do.
I realize that we don't pay Joe Farr, but we may have to reduce his rate of pay. He may have to start paying us for the privilege of working here.
Yeah, because see now the thing is, he threw them in, and sure it'll help, but you guys have to move through this space too.
Right. I imagine it's easier for us to slip on ball bearing than rats.
I don't know about that.
They do have 4 feet to our 2.
Have these rats been drinking? That's the question.
All right.
Plus,
so
if a rat falls, it really just lays down. Like, it's only how high off the floor to begin with. It's like an inch lower.
If a rat falls in Calrac Hall, does it make a sound?
all right, everybody, give me initiative.
No.
That's not a disadvantage.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. It's an ability check.
That's some bullshit.
Peter, your life is at disadvantage at this point.
5.
Got 7. See, but on the plus side, when Aurelia gets expertise on it, her bardic and jack of all trades on it, because it's an ability check.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Sharp, what did you get?
7.
Solana?
17.
All right, so Silhana, you are up right now, but Jofar is right in the doorway. It's only a doorway for like one person to fit through comfortably, and he is currently holding his torch out in front of him. So you could potentially move through his space, but there's also the potential that you might get burned.
And ball bearings.
And there are the ball bearings right in front of him now.
Well, shit. There is not much I can do, because I can't shoot through him either, because he's a solid human being.
No, but you could, I would allow you to, if you were going to throw a dart,
Yeah, I'd have
you
to
could do it over his shoulder.
Or between his legs or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that you could do that. It's a little hard to see past the fire though, still.
Yeah.
Because that's right in front of him as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna get behind him and try and throw a dart at one of these giant rats.
Okay. So just to kind of set the scene, because now you guys have stood there long enough to be able to get a sense of what you guys have in front of you. There are, as I said, there's the 5 massive rats in there. There's also a bunch of smaller rats and mice and insects. Those mostly scattered the minute that Jofar entered with the fire in front of him. This area seems to have one time been a kitchen. There are rusty cauldrons and broken crockery scattered across the floor. Everything appears to be covered in dust and cobwebs and mold. So that's and it's a smooth stone floor for the most part, as you might expect in a kitchen.
Do we see any way out of this room besides the door?
Yes, on the opposite side, there's another door.
Okay. What's the closest rat to us that I can see?
Because of the fire in your way, blocking your vision,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a perception check.
Okay. That's 15 plus 4, so 19.
Okay, good enough. So yeah, there's the closest rat is probably about 10 feet away from Jofar.
Okay, I can throw a dart at it. I'm gonna look past his, torso as best I can, and I'm gonna get a dart and throw it right between his legs into one of the rats, the closest one.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
That is a 16 total.
All right, that hits.
Okay, that is... Oh, boy. 4 massive damage of piercing.
Okay. And what does your dart look like? Is it a piercing weapon?
It's a what it is it's just a... It's kind of like a small piton.
Okay.
And
So you bury the dart into the rat's shoulder, and it screeches in absolute agony.
Is there any room between where this door is and the wall that's further on from where we haven't come from yet?
So your best guess is that's probably about 40 feet away.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to move, next to the door to give Jafar enough room to maneuver and get out if he wants to.
Okay.
That'll do it for me.
Anything else?
Yep, nothing else I can do.
All right. So now you have 5 angry rats charging towards Jofar. So they're gonna, as they move, let's see.
The might of the ball bearing.
So they will get they will potentially be affected by the ball bearings. Let's see. Since they have 4 feet, I'm gonna give them advantage.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. So the one that Silana hobbled with the dart into its shoulder, as it tries to move through the ball bearings, it is unable to. But the rest of them come charging up. So there are 2 of them right in front of Jofar. One of them actually climbs on top of the others to try and get at you. And the other one is kind of in the back, waiting for its chance to get at you. So the first one, a 20. Does that hit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It just rolled really well. So don't think that this is their norm. All right. So you take 3 piercing damage from the first one.
Is that the one that climbed on its head?
No. Then the one that's next to him rolled a natural 20.
Of course he did.
Does a 14 hit you?
Yep.
It does?
Yeah, I have a low armor class.
Why didn't Raf Stool get these rolls?
I know, right? What the fuck? And I had a reckless attack on top of it. All right. So this rat deals 12 damage to you.
Yeah, vitality.
And also it didn't just bite you. It jumped up and bit you right in the face. And now you are blinded.
There's blood pouring all over his eyes. You can't see a damn thing.
All right, I'm blinded and I'm in vitality points.
Yes, and then you have one more rat who is attacking you clumsily from standing on the other ones, and that's a 14.
Yeah, that's a hit. I mean, Grease with a Titan with a Warforged, no, couldn't make it. But 3 rats and ball bearings, yeah, they just fucking roll across that shit.
Oh, that was so funny because when he finally did get up, he just punched a horse to death in one hit. So that is 4 piercing damage.
All right.
So Sharp, you're up. Jofar on deck. Solana in the hole.
I had $1 for every time I was told that.
So has the rat that bit Jofar in the face, has it let go? Or is it just grappled on?
Fortunately, it's too large. And its bite is not strong enough to have been able to support its entire weight. Otherwise, that would have been a problem. So, no, it did slide off and take a good chunk of flesh out as that happened.
Not his eyes, your eyes in his mouth. It runs away. So does Jofar, did you take out your hammer when you did all that?
Yeah,
Like,
it's on the ground.
He dropped it so he could throw the ball berries.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of innuendo in your round, Peter, because you're like, I take out my hammer and then grab my sack and drop my balls. So I am going to sidle up essentially right next to him. I assume he's still outside the doorway. He didn't walk in.
He's kind of he kicked it in and put the torch in front of him, so he's kind of standing in the doorway.
Okay, because what I'm trying to do is use my psychic blast cantrip, but not hit him. So around the side of him or something at one of the rats.
You could do that.
You have to go between his legs like I did.
But I will say, given he's very visibly hurt, he's bleeding from his face, and if he's not pulled out of the way of those rats, he may not make it another round.
Okay, then I will pull him out of the doorway, sort of throwing him across the hall into the wall, and then I will step into this breach.
Okay.
But I assume that's my turn.
Unless you want to, well, I'll allow you to do that as a bonus action because you're just kind of shoving him, out of the way. I even imagine it maybe just being a shoulder check. I don't think that would take up your action.
Then I would still do this psychic blast. So it is one of the rats, whatever rat actually just got hit by Sohana, probably. I would go for that one.
Okay.
So it has to make
that's the one that's not even in the group. It fell.
Yep.
It will be. The ball bearings are not going to keep it down indefinitely.
That's what you think.
Okay.
So it has to make a DC 13 intelligence save.
Okay. Now,
No problem.
With that spell, that cantrip, does it matter if their intelligence is of a certain?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't say it does.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely failed. I might not even roll for that because
it takes six psychic damage, and it has to subtract a D4 on its next save.
It won't get that next save. Go ahead and describe how it dies.
So, still reeling from slipping on the ball bearings, shaking its head back and forth, its head just starts to vibrate, and then it just explodes, pops open, like a kernel of popcorn blowing up.
What a horrible day for this rat. It's just minding its own business. Somebody kicks in the door and flashes light at it, startling him, and then somebody throws a dart into his shoulder. He falls on ball bearings, and then his head explodes.
Sounds like a Monday.
Yeah.
Probably just angered, made the other rats angrier.
TPK rats.
All right. So, Jofar, you are sitting in the corner, blinded, in great pain, bleeding from your face pretty profusely, as well as some other bite wounds on your legs. What do you do?
Don't I have a rat on my face though?
No,
No, it didn't. It wasn't able to hold onto your face. It just took
okay.
a good chunk out of your nose.
Wait a second. I don't have.
These rats are gnome size. You could make like a vengeance cape later on out of the hides.
New pair of boots.
Or like you could become like Ratman, like a new superhero who stalks the night wearing their pelts.
Getting a rat face as a hat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's with wolves.
I mean, Batman adopted the thing that he was afraid of most.
So I'm gonna have to use. I'm gonna use cure wounds on myself here.
Okay.
Yay.
So with that magical healing, you're able to restore your sight.
I'm just well. I'm not worried about that. I need to get out of this. I need to get out of these vitality points.
No, that's fine. I'm not saying that it
Oh, okay.
in place of getting hit points back, but the condition was that you are blinded until you either get some magical healing or have somebody use a medicine kit on you. It wasn't like permanent blindness or anything.
That's too bad.
You're definitely going to have a nice
eyeballs.
scar, though. Yeah, you're going to definitely have a nice scar.
Oh, damn it.
You know, chicks dig scars.
He could have been Daredevil where he had to do everything with echolocation. Shit.
So, of course, I rolled a 1.
By the way, I think I am going to implement that rule where for like warlocks and rangers and all of them, that once per long rest, you could switch out a known spell of the same level. I think I'm going to implement that from like the Unearthed Arcana. It doesn't affect this, but just FYI. All right, so you use your action to heal yourself. Do you do anything else?
Let's see here.
Don't you still have some good berries?
I was thinking I did, but I can't remember.
I don't think you ate all of them. I think you ate 8.
Yeah, you ate some number of them, but you saved a couple.
No, I didn't end up. No, I didn't end up doing that. I crossed it out because we took a short rest, and I used hit dice.
Oh, that's right. So you didn't. You ended up instead of eating the berries, you used the hit dice, right?
Right.
Okay.
So, ability modifier. So I guess it's 1. So. Crap, hold on. That's +1. So I got 2 HP back. 2. So I'm still in vitality points. I'm at 10.
All right.
Can I use an action point to take another action? And well, no, I guess
Well, you could. I mean, remember, one of the ways you can use action points is to, as a free action, heal up to half your hit dice, as long as you have hit dice to spend.
I've got 1 left.
Okay. So that's also an option if you wanted to do it.
Half minimum 1.
I'll just hold my I'll just hold it here. I might need that.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So, and then, Joe or Sharp, where are you standing? Did you go into the doorway or?
Yeah, I stepped into the breach itself so that the rats will have to get through me to get at Jofar.
Okay. So Jofar was still carrying the torch, and so now that it's off to the side, it does affect vision. You can still see the rats, but it's going to be obscured. I don't think it's going to cause disadvantage on your attacks or anything, but it is more difficult to see.
Mhm.
But not for Solana, who is currently up. Rats on deck, Sharp in the hole.
Yep. Okay, quick question. Inside the room, are there any tables or kitchen counters strewn about within, let's say, 10, 15 feet of where we are?
No, there's some counters along the walls, but nothing strewn out on the floor. There's a couple of pots and pans, and it looks like some broken uh, like porcelain or china or whatever.
Okay, okay. And let me take a quick look, 'cause I want to be sure. Yeah, okay, I can make this work. Since I no longer have fire blocking my way into the room, thankfully, I'm gonna go ahead, walk 5 feet, then I'm gonna slide underneath, right between Sharp's legs, so I can get into the room. And as I'm going to do flurry of blows, and I'm going to kick one of the rats that's on the ground there.
Okay.
That's standing there. That's holding up, the one rat who's standing on their heads.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your attack roll for your attack.
Yep, that is a 19 total.
It hits.
And I'm going to go ahead and do one of my abilities as an open hand monk, and I'm going to push it.
Well, no, you can't do that one until you use your flurry of blows.
That's why I said I'm using flurry of blows.
But you have to do your action first, which is your attack.
Oh yeah, true, I do. Okay, yeah, I'll just hit him then. And that is 4 and 3, so 7.
All right, I believe. Yes. Go ahead and describe how that one kicks the bucket.
Right as I slide underneath Sharp's head, I stick my leg out and just punt it.
Okay. It squeals. It slaps across the wall in a sickly fashion, spraying some blood from its mouth as it slowly then slides down the wall.
Good, good.
All right. Then you're gonna do flurry.
Yep. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit the next one that's holding the rat up.
Okay.
I'm gonna kick him too because I'm still prone technically. That is a 16 to hit.
Okay, that hits. But if you're prone, you have disadvantage on that attack.
Yep. That's why it's 16 to hit and not higher.
Okay.
And that is 4 and 3 again. So 7 again.
Okay, so go ahead and describe how that one.
That one gets hit, and basically I just kick it right underneath the chin and hit its head up into the one standing on its head.
Well, I thought you kicked the one that was standing on top of the rats.
No, I'm aiming for the ones on the bottom first.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that one dies, and then you have one more attack with your flurry, right?
Yep, and I'm going to aim for the one that was standing on everyone's heads and try and hit that. Again, disadvantage. So that is 15 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, then that is 6 damage.
Okay, so that one is seriously hurt, but still kicking. With your attack, you've broken its teeth, and it's looking to get some revenge.
Then I'm going to get up from being prone, because I still have enough movement I can do that. And that's going to do it for my turn, because that's all I can do.
All right. So the one that was behind now has room to run up in front of you, and I will roll just in case for the ball bearings. Unlikely, but we'll see. Nope. It gets through the ball bearings. And then, so the one that you hit attacks you, Solana.
Yep.
So that's a 20, not natural.
That hits.
So you take 6 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then the second one rolls up to attack you. 14?
That misses.
Okay. So it's trying to scratch at you, but you're able to kind of knock it away and deflect it.
Okay.
All right. Sharp, you are up. Jofar on deck, then Solana in the hole.
Okay, so how far are they from me since I'm in the doorway?
Yeah, so you are, I mean, they're right in front of Solana, who's right in front of you.
So I have to go in further to get to them.
Well, no, you could still attack through Solana. They just might have some cover.
Okay.
Unless it's something that you can do from just looking over her shoulder or something.
No, I was going to attack with my longsword this time.
Oh,
but,
yeah, they would have cover.
So I'll still do that.
Yeah, you can probably step around me as well, because I'm actually...
Well, I was more concerned about walking into the room, because then I'm getting further from my crumpled source of light behind me.
And then also you're starting to get into the ball bearings.
Right. Uh-oh.
Which I didn't make Solana roll on, because I figure your dexterity is just not gonna, because it's a DC 10.
Yeah, yeah.
So I only got a 12 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. 12 with your longsword with cover actually just misses.
Okay. That's fair. So that's my round. Still blocking the doorway so they can't get at the
Joe.
I assume still prone Jofar. But at least you can see.
Yes.
I figure the next scene is OCD Jofar trying to find 1,000 ball bearings, putting them back into the bag.
While he's doing that, can I take a short rest?
Joe, I have a message to send you.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Jofar, you are up. Solana on deck. Rats in the hole.
Let's see.
We're being overrun. Burn the place down. Quick.
I would suggest that to Jofar.
I'm just imagining.
So I look and hey, looks like those punks are getting away. And I'm going to Is there any way to drop, put down the torch while I'm sitting and pull out my bow and try to shoot one of them?
Sure.
Set it next to you or something.
Yeah. All right, that's what I'm going to do.
Remember,
I'm not at disadvantage, am I? Because I'm in vitality. Yes.
You are if you're in vitality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Then it doesn't matter that you're prone.
Damn, I've rolled 3 natural 20s. I've had disadvantage. Let's see. It's going to be a miss. It's going to be like, what? Yeah, 10.
Okay, so you shoot right over their head, and that causes them to run even faster. They're really booking it.
Is there anything I can tell from any of them? Do they all look the same?
It, normally in combat, that would be like a search action. If you want to spend an action point, I would let you do a search action, and because you're spending an action point, I would even allow you to do it at advantage, even though you're in vitality, and have now 2 levels of exhaustion.
So to cast Hunter's Mark is just it's a bonus action, but do I need a spell slot?
No,
Yes.
not for
that's
my
right, not for
ranger.
yours.
So eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I just pick one and cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay, and then that creates the link where you can use the survival to track them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you can do that.
All right.
Doing that, I would even allow you to get an imprint of some quality of that person. We'll wait until after combat to go
Okay.
through that, though.
All right.
All right, Solana, you're up. Rats on deck. Sharpen the
Yep.
hole.
That one rat that was standing on top of the others and actually bit me, he's getting kicked in the face. Because that's all I can do. That is 16 to hit.
Hit.
Okay, and then that is 5 wonderful kicking damage.
All right, how does this one meet its end?
I just kick it in the face and it flies up into the ceiling and breaks its little skull,
Okay, and then falls back down with a thud.
as he should. And there's still one left, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to look at the last one, crack my knuckles, and bonus action, try and punt him across the room,
Okay.
backing with a kick. That is a 14 to hit.
It hits.
Oh, hey. That's good. And, 7.
All right. That one is also punted into death.
Yay!
All right. So combat is over. All of the rats in that room are dead. You get, Jofar, you get the last glimpse of them as they round the corner and exit out Corlac Hall.
Could I
You
see
now-
who he was shooting at?
When he said, "Hey, they're getting away," would you have turned to see what he's looking at, or what he's
would have
talking about?
looked.
Yeah,
I
you
would've
would have
looked.
seen them as well.
So what did they look like again?
Just figures. They seem like humanoids. It's hard to get much detail, especially because they are.
They all look the same.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Joe
Oh,
Farr
they're.
will know more about them. I was just wondering if they
Yeah.
seemed like Reavers, although Reavers didn't seem like they were keen
Oh,
on the run.
definitely. They definitely seem like Reavers. They had the same kind of look to them.
So can I get another shot off before they escape my field of view, or are they gone?
No, they're gone.
Well, now we need to move because they may come back with friends, like the last ones.
Hey everyone, I took care of the rats.
You see now, Joe, why we don't kick in doors. You got bit in the face, and I say you got lucky. The rat went to the effort to leap high enough to bite you in the face. He could have aimed lower, and it wouldn't have been your eyes that got bit.
Whooping his nose. Peter's just sitting there writing this down, remembering it for Thursday night.
Yes.
I'm sorry, did I say 1 vermiodes? I meant 15. And
Right. And they all go right for Brachius's undersized ape penis.
they're being attacked by crabs down there.
What would you know, Sharp? You got to lead from the front. Not taking the sauce there in the rear.
So I assume he's fine. He's giving me lip. So I will go over to the other door we saw.
Okay.
And then realize I can't see in the dark. And go back and pick up his torch and walk back in.
All right. So, let's see.
So if he takes my torch, I have another one. I'll just light that.
Okay, that's fine.
And then I will go and collect the ball bearings, whatever I can.
Okay. So that will take probably a good 5-10 minutes to get all of them.
Oh, and he'll count them. He wants to make sure it's 1,000 ball bearings.
I think
He
you mean
counted them when he counted them when he bought them in the store.
slowly.
He'll count them again now.
I think what you mean is it's going to take him about an hour to count through all of them as he goes 1, 2, and I think that's a short rest. I don't know about you guys, but
That's kind of like, what is it? Like those fairies, they can't resist having to count the grains of salt if they're spilled in front of them.
oh yeah, God, I can't remember. I know what you're talking about though.
That's supposed to be what vampires do too. Throw seeds in front of them. They have to stop and count the seeds.
All right. So while Joe is collecting all of his ball bearings, what are the rest of you doing? By the way, Joe, you have 2 levels of exhaustion now, which means your speed is halved.
You're counting extra slow.
I'm going to start looking around the kitchen, seeing if there's anything in here of interest, and seeing what's on the way up to the door.
So go ahead and give me an investigation check for whoever's doing a search in the room.
Right. I will stop Solana and say, you're the one who actually has decent hearing. You should go listen at the door. I'll search the kitchen. I'm nearly deaf as a post with my -1.
Wait, is that some kind of slight at elves and our bigger ears?
Yes, go listen at the door.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll go to the door then. Fine.
And I will investigate the kitchen.
All right. So Solana, give me a perception, and Sharp, give me a investigation.
I got a 17.
I have a 15.
All right.
At this stage, I still have absolutely no idea that anyone was shot or shot at while I was in the room. Don't hold me anything.
And Sharp, what was your roll?
17.
Okay. So you do find a box, but it appears to be locked. It's a narrow, dark wood box with a fine silver lock. It's actually a quite nice box. It looks like the craftsmanship is pretty top notch, and it must have been made well to have avoided succumbing to the rot and the mold that kind of suffuses this place.
Certainly seems wildly out of place here. So I would actually know this. I assume either Solana or Jofar or both are proficient with thieves' tools. I'd hate to break the valuable looking box.
Not me.
Unfortunately, it was your sibling who took the thieves' tools.
Yes.
I went,
My good-for-nothing brother.
is Joe Far any good with locks?
Even if he is, he has disadvantage.
I mean, we don't have to do it now necessarily.
Yeah.
Do
You have proficiency with thieves' tools?
I got a crowbar. It works.
Yeah, that might damage my brand new spiffy box.
Well, you have to remember what's in this box is like 15 healing potions and exhaustion removing things.
Sharp, do you try to guess the contents of the box in any way?
I mean, if I could from looking at the outside of it.
Yeah, don't shake it, you'll break all the glass.
Yeah, I wouldn't shake it hard, but I might like rattle it a bit to try to hear what's inside.
You hear what appears to be like some clinking metal.
It's monogrammed silverware.
Well, for now, I can't open it without damaging the box, so I would just put it in my backpack.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll head back up to him and say, I don't hear anything.
This is what comes by the way of too much planning as to who's going to take what tool set.
I have no idea.
Without paying attention to the fact that we also guessed that the other guy was going to disappear at some point.
Yeah. But I do have some good news on that front. I do have a buddy who is interested in joining. He won't be able to do it probably until after Thanksgiving. So we might have one more session without him, unless somebody else knows of somebody who would be able to jump in sooner.
I'll see what my mother's doing. It will be her first game.
Let's see if your friend wants to play like a half-elven triplet.
He is trying to catch up and watching the session, so he might cross his mind. I don't know.
Or he can come back as like an imposter version of Barrett's.
So this is my other brother, Gerald. He's a paladin. You've never met him before. Yeah.
Some kind of Ryadrian double agent.
Right.
All right, so you guys find that box. Jofar is doing his best to recover all of his ball bearings. Jofar, give me a percentile.
Oh no.
Percentile. It's either 0 or 100.
100.
There we go.
You recover 100% of your ball bearings.
Yes, I do. You bet I do.
While he's doing that, I've just got
Every
my
last one of them. Even the one that got embedded in the rat after Solana kicked it.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm watching this, I've just drained like half of my flask. Just sitting there drinking.
All right, so then Jofar has collected all of his ball bearings. Sharp, you found that box. Solana stated that she couldn't hear anything beyond the door.
Yep.
So I'm going to say, Solana, crack the door a little bit and see if you can see what's on the other side. We'll stuff these torches somewhere so that they're not shining light through the door, alerting anything that's behind it to your presence.
I go.
No. We don't want to establish a pattern.
They might suspect if we kick down another door. True. Okay. I'll go up to the door, and I'll go right to the side and open it slightly and just peek inside.
You don't see anybody in there.
Do I see anything?
So it looks like, oh wait, I was reading the wrong thing.
Oh,
So you don't see anyone there. But what you do see is it looks to be a hallway.
about how far does it go that I can see?
Can't tell from the way that you're just cracking it. You would have to open the door
Mhm.
and look through down the hall to see how far it goes. But you can see a hallway and you can see a door across from you.
I turn back and say, hallway, and I push the door open a bit more so I can see all the way in slowly.
Okay. So down the hall, what you see is the floor at the other end of the hallway, much like in the entryway, is strewn with mounds of shattered glass, and the wall at the other end is made of opaque glass. It seems to be similar but slightly different than the strange wall that you saw in the entryway. And there is a jagged rectangle opening into a large room that appears to be part of the fallen tower itself.
Okay. I'm going to leave the door open and step back and tell them all of that.
So I
And then
will.
You also notice that there are a few more doorways in the hallway.
Oh dear.
Having Jovar's torch, I will walk in. I'll go to the nearest door, I suppose,
Oh dear.
and
Okay,
listen.
so the door right across from you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're gonna listen to the door?
Yep.
Give me a perception check.
5.
You hear
Can't really-
Eurobeat.
Can't really hear anything.
Then I will open the door a sliver, and with the torch, though, I will look inside.
So you have the torch with you?
Yes.
The minute that you open the door, you hear screeches of rats, much similar to the screeches that you've heard, and several of them charge the door.
So I would then close the door.
So the moment that you close the door, you hear them scratching against the door.
Oh.
But thankfully,
See how
they
that
don't
works?
have opposable thumbs.
See how that works, Jofar? See how rats are defeated just by a door?
Honestly, I half expected him to go ahead and say, you close the door, the minute it's shut, you hear boom, and a rat goes flying out. Smash.
So with that, I would probably walk like all the way down the hallway towards the glass, walking
Okay.
past all the doors.
So the glass gets about. So if you're looking out the room that you came from, to your left there's a dead end. To your right is where the glass is, and the glass starts about 10 feet away from the door, maybe a little less.
So I will glance back and make sure everybody's wearing shoes
Yep.
to defeat the glass on the floor, and just hope this isn't somehow magical shoe defeating glass.
So I will say that the glass is like just like before, it's piled up. It's not just like a thin layer of broken glass across the floor. The glass gets up to like a foot and a half deep,
Why?
because this is the remains of a glass tower that shattered as it fell into Korlek Hall.
Oh dear.
So then there doesn't appear to be like any blood on top of this portion of the glass.
Oh sure. Just like last time. Except the blood here is a bit fresher. whereas the blood previously that was seen is more dry blood.
The fresh blood of Karlak Hall.
And also, Sharp, you would probably be able to guess, based on the thickness of the glass, that this is not just normal glass. This is glass fitting structural stresses. So it is both sharp and strong.
I don't know what the actual, I don't know what the pants situation is with scale armor. So it's not necessarily like full plate, I guess, where it's like separate metal legs.
Like the fact you're complaining, I'm wearing flats and shorts.
Right. I was going to say, and I assume, I wasn't so much going to point out you, but I assume AC-14 Jofar isn't wearing solid metal armor.
AC-14, that's more like AC-12.
So I can't really recommend that we walk across this glass. I guess we should search the other rooms before we give up and take the path of most painful cuts.
I mean, you can see that there's a possibility that you could tread very carefully, but it's unstable ground, and if you were to slip, you would fall, and you would definitely end up cutting yourself.
So what you're
And
saying
every
is all
piece
the
of
deck
glass
saves.
is, yeah, every piece of glass coated in lemon juice, just to make it slightly worse.
And salt.
So do we want to search these rooms, or do we want to try balancing our way across the glass?
So I will say, so the door across from you, no glass. The two doors that are a bit farther down, well within the area of the glass.
So what you're saying is start with the door across from us. I'll go to the door across from us and put my ear to it.
See, I'm of two minds on that. If I were a crazy reaver and I wanted to hide something, I would put it beyond the blood-stained glass, and the bloodstains may reflect them getting across it to hide what we're looking for.
Yeah.
As opposed to the room with the rats, where clearly the reavers aren't going in there, because the reavers probably would have eaten the rats, or vice versa. Unless, like, the reavers keep them as pets, I suppose.
I just saw the whiplash class.
Yep. Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm going to put my ear up to the door and listen and see if I hear anything.
Oh yeah, you hear the scratches of angry rats that Sharp
so
just
that's that
closed the
door.
door on. Yeah.
Oh, it's that door. Okay. Well, I think we have to go across the glass to continue.
So since I am armored, at least, I will start to walk across the glass carefully as I can.
Okay. So each square of glass, you need to make a dexterity acrobatics check.
Ooh.
So
Not
and
my
it's
best.
and then so there are, if you're just wanting to get to the doors,
Yeah.
that's 2 squares.
Okay.
And then to get to, and then to get to the other end where the wall is, and there's a way of getting into the tower, that's 3 squares.
Does the blood trail seem to go to the doors or to the end, or all directions?
Mostly to the end, but I mean, there's kind of blood everywhere. It looks like somebody really had a tough time, and just like No, it's hard to say that it was necessarily a direct path in any direction.
All right, I'll try for the doors first. So first dexterity check, 18.
Okay, so you're good there.
Second one, 21.
All right, so you've managed to very carefully place your feet on flat glass and manage to balance without it slipping from beneath your feet. And then,
So I will now turn around and try to direct them as to where I was stepping, although I assume they were watching, so that at least maybe they have advantage or some benefit.
Technically, I do have keen mind, so I know exactly where you stepped perfectly.
so normally I might allow that, but Sharp, you can tell from the way that you're standing, everything is really unstable. So there's a possibility because of the way they place their feet, how they balance their weight, that glass may slip right out from under them.
I mean, I would just point out that relative to the 13-year-old girl, I have got to be pretty heavy. So the places where I was stepping with my 45 pounds of armor alone probably were relatively stable.
How did I go down 4 years in age?
Oh, I thought you were younger. I was thinking of Aurelia in a different game.
Oh, yes.
Hey, that's Marion age and where she's from. That's why Buckner was so interested.
I was marrying age in most of the world until the 1800s.
All right, so you are right next to the doors.
So I am at least going to wait for them to start to make it over before I open up the door to the next rat room.
Now, let's think about this real fast. We do have a rope, and we do have someone who's going to have to make this with disadvantage. I'm just saying, if one of us stands on one side with a rope, and we have Joe Farr crawl on the rope between us.
Are you strong enough to hold Joe Farr up in the air?
Let me see.
It's better than what I thought your plan was going to be, which is just tie it around your waist. We'll drag you across.
So you want to form a human tightrope, or a tightrope with two people as the anchors.
Technically, I can lift 360 pounds.
Yeah, but I think it's a little awkward.
With the leverage he would have pressing down in the middle as he tries to walk or climb along the tightrope.
Yeah, and because you wouldn't be able to hold it perfectly taut, that's more of a slack line than it is a tightrope.
He's crawling across it and his butt's just ripping down the entire thing, glass tearing into it.
Jofar, I'm interested to hear your thoughts about this situation.
I haven't decided whether I'm going to go across or not. Because I don't think he's going to make it, and that's where he's going to die is on stupid glass.
Doesn't he still have vitality points?
I'm into vitality points.
Oh yeah, he hasn't healed up from there.
Oh, I thought you would have done that. To get
I tried, but I didn't even get out of it.
I have a healer's kit, I can take you out of vitality points, probably.
Are you proficient in medicine?
Sadly, no, but the healer's kit allows you to take them out of vitality points, but then I can't heal them above it.
But you did that already. Didn't you? And you used it when you guys camped out?
Yeah, in the first fight, yep.
Yep, he can't benefit from another use of that until a long rest.
Oh, it's a long... Okay, I see. Oh, shit, I tried to be hopeful. Never mind.
I have a bedroll. We could lay it out over across the glass, tie a rope to it, and drag you across.
I think the glass is too big for that. How about this? How about I make my way across, and then we'll figure it out once we're there.
There you go.
Okay, so Solana, are you going to stand right next to Sharp then?
Yeah, I'm going to acrobatics my way across.
Okay.
And make it to Sharp, yep.
All right, so give me 2 checks.
2 checks. Okay, that is 15 plus 15, not natural 20.
Okay.
Next one is 12 and 5, so 17.
Okay. You're good. So you guys are now right there with the doors. It's a little cramped since you're sharing the same square right now. Because this is only a 5-foot hallway.
It's okay, I'm small.
Yeah, I will wait for her to listen at one of the doors.
Okay. I'll listen at the first door. Oh, lovely. That is...
So wait a minute. So if you're looking at this wall, are you listening to the door on the left or the door on the right?
Let's start with the door on the left. And that is a 12.
So okay, I'll give it to you. It's right on the edge there.
Oh shit, so that's what a mind flare sounds like. Oh fuck. I turn back to Sharp. There's someone humming what appears to be a lullaby on the other side. This is how I die. This is the poltergeist.
Well, I can't easily hide this torch, as I can't really move out of this spot until we open the door, and even then the room could be filled with glass too, for all I know. So I think we just have to risk it and crack the door and see what's there.
Okay. Grab the back of my pants so I don't fall in, and I'm gonna lean forward and open the door crack.
So you can see that this looks like at one time it may have been servants' quarters. From the small degree that you can see in the room, you see some beds, you see some footlockers, and you hear much more clearly, and now Sharp can also hear the faint sound of a lullaby.
I'm gonna
But
ask the obvious.
it's otherwise dark in there.
Yes.
Ask the obvious question. Do I know the lullaby?
You're like, what, 4? Of course you do.
No, everyone, it's fine. I'll be the fighter.
Right.
No
That's why you were such a sensation as a gladiator, the 5-year-old gladiator.
So actually, if either Sharp or Solana are proficient in history, you can make a check.
No.
I don't think I am. Nope.
Damn it, my brother betrayed us again.
Yeah, he was proficient in a lot of things.
Medicine kits, thieves' tools.
Yeah,
History.
and it's too faint at this point for Joe Farr to hear.
Yeah. Oh, screw it.
I mean, does it look like, do we see any doors out of this place? It's servants' quarters after all.
Not from the small degree that you're looking in.
I might have to open it more.
I mean, look, yeah, I want to die at the hands of whatever poor soul is haunting this room as much as anyone. But Maybe we should try the other door.
It could be sharing stone, though. Oh, well, screw it. I close the door, and I go to the other one. Or kind of, in this case, lean over to the other one.
Okay. So because you're switching positions a little bit, you're moving within the square. I'm gonna make you roll another dexterity check.
Okay, I can do that. 19 total.
Okay, you're
14 and
fine.
5.
Meanwhile, I wouldn't say anything, but while we're shifting around, I would look back at Jofar and like motion for him to come across the glass.
I'm just watching to make sure somebody doesn't sneak up on us.
Okay, so he wouldn't, and he's then not even facing me. I'm wondering why he's not advancing, and he's looking the other way.
I don't hear anything from this one, and I'll try cracking this one open a hair.
So this looks like it may have been a laundry. It's been raided to the point where there's not really anything in here.
Like I've gone for some concrete shoes.
All that's really left within the room is a tap into the well, a massive basin that's been overturned, and some drying platforms. It doesn't look like there's any doorway out either.
There's glass in this room, or is it more empty?
No glass.
This one looks pretty empty here. Here, let me open the door a bit more, and I'll open the door all the way and step inside.
Okay, so stepping inside, nothing moves or startles or anything like that.
Oh. While you're in there, check out the overturned basin.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Not,
I put my ear up and listen to the basin.
You don't hear anything on the basin.
Oh, it was a perfect place for a mimic.
It was. I lift up the basin. Who do I see under it?
You see what appears to be a feather token.
Do I know what a feather token is?
Indeed, you do.
Very good. I will take it.
So a feather token, let me just double check, but it's an item that is pretty common, especially for those that travel up to the higher levels in Sharn, that can protect you from falling. I think it has a one-time feather fall effect.
Okay.
Let me just double check to make sure that I'm right with that.
And I'm just making sure my character would know what one is.
Okay, so while the token is in your possession, you can cast Featherfall as a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
It seems wrong.
Yeah, that does seem wrong. That means you fall and hit the ground, and then poof, Featherfall.
Yeah. So it is one-time use. So using it turns it into an inert object.
Yeah, that could well be right. It's just not meant to be used as a reaction. You're supposed to use it, then jump. Not jump, then use it.
Hey, as long as you're falling more than 60 feet, you're fine. Okay then. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to motion to Sharp to come in, and I'm going to hand it to him.
I believe you fall, like Xanathar's guide rules, like it's instantaneous, but then if you fall more than 500 feet, it takes more than a round. so no real chance. Yeah, no real chance to do much of anything if you don't have an immediate action.
Terminal velocity disagrees with this. Yeah, I'm going to hand this to Sharp.
I still am afraid of whatever is singing a lullaby in the middle of this place on the other side of the glass. So I would
Well,
push forward the extra square to try to get to the tower.
All right, give me athletics, or dexterity or acrobatics.
I'm gonna use luck point. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't like that. That's a little bit better. So 14.
Okay, you're fine.
but they might have concrete shoes in the servants' quarter that we can go ahead and give to Joe Farr so we can get past.
Yeah, I don't think it was always filled with glass, this hallway, such that they needed to arm the servants. Servants, you live in the room beyond the glass.
They're like,
Because we're like fairy tale levels of evil rich person.
just some divination wizard looking up going, one day a bunch of glass is going to wind up here. You better all have concrete shoes for when it does.
Okay, so Sharp, you are now at the edge. You could attempt to climb into the window. If you do that, it's a strength athletics check.
Sure, I will try to do that.
Does the window have any broken glass in it still?
Pull yourself across the broken glass.
Now, it looks to be a relatively safe climb if you can make it.
I got a 19.
Okay, so you're able to climb in and enter. So, so you see the floor of the room beyond was once the room's ceiling when the tower fell. And it must have, because of the way it fell. It's as you're looking and seeing that you're standing on the ceiling and the ceiling is what was once the floor, you kind of realize just how amazing it is that this tower managed to survive the impact with as much intact as it is. You do see fractures within some of the supporting structures, which includes very thick, magically reinforced glass. And the fractures run along the walls and the floor. But overall, it seems solid. And the walls of the chamber seem to be have been lined with cages that you look up and you see the cages having been attached directly to the floor, which is now the ceiling. You do notice that the bars are unusual. And they are many of the doors to these cells have actually been torn off their hinges. The doors are nowhere to be seen.
How big are these cages?
They're quite large. Generally, they are. Let me something real quick. So many of them appear to be 5 to 10 feet long, and maybe about 10 feet tall. The ceiling, the ceiling floor is about 20 feet. So the cages take up about half of the height of the room.
So does there appear to be a way out of this room?
So there is. It looks like there's kind of a rounded tunnel to your right, just up ahead. But you would need to go down further to see what's there.
So I will reach an arm out the window I just crawled through to sort of motion for Silhana to come along. And then I will also like leave the arm out there so that I can like grab her and pull her through.
Okay.
Athletics, correct?
Yes. And you can get +2 bonus for sharp helping.
Okay, so that is 17 total.
Okay, so you're able to do it, but since you were in the laundry room, you need to go through 2 squares of the stuff.
Acrobatics. First one is a 13 and 5, 18. And the next one is a 18 and 5, 23.
Okay. So now you two are in this tower. Sharp is all the way on the other side of the glass, just kind of looking glum and alone.
He's probably still looking down the hallway in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I turn around and notice that they're not there anymore.
You would see like the torchlight twinkling through the window.
Yeah.
This little elven foot making its way over the edge as it pops inside.
Sound of someone singing a lullaby getting louder and louder. And Jofar was never seen again.
I didn't know the Grudge was in this game. Question.
I mean, I will, before we move on, like stick my head out the window again and look out at Jofar to see what he's doing.
Just look sad, longingly at each other for a good minute as the Titanic sinks.
I mean, as a player, I certainly do understand that you don't want your character to die walking across the glass floor.
Well,
but as your employer, I am your employer. This is capitalism. Walk across the glass floor.
Well, considering he's had his ass kicked this entire time, he was hoping to see how well you guys did, and apparently it's really easy because nobody has been hurt at all. So sure, we will make our way across because I don't want to get left behind. So let's
acrobatics check at disadvantage.
Okay, let's see.
He's just like immediately swallowed. He just sinks.
11.
All right, you have some instability in the walking, but you're able to manage the first square.
4.
Oh no!
You
want to use an action point?
Looks like I'm gonna have to.
I'll let you roll with normal non-disadvantage for the action point.
3. 4.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I take it back. I'll just let you auto succeed for this 5 foot space.
Okay.
So your next 5 foot though, 4.
All right. So roll one more time at disadvantage.
Is it total of 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
13.
Okay. So you were a little unstable at first, and then you got a little bit farther, and then it was like the whoa kicking glass everywhere, and you managed to stabilize. You waited a minute just to make sure you weren't gonna move, and then you carefully got there, and now you're at the wall.
Okay. I guess this is the window?
Yeah, so you need to climb up.
I mean, I will stick my arm out again to help pull him through.
Right, which will give you a +2, but you're still at disadvantage.
And it's
It's
acrobatics
a
again?
strength athletics check.
Oh, definitely take athletics. Oh, yeah, natural 1.
You pull me out the window with you.
You both fall on the glass.
The glass that was unstable has now crashed down.
Roll the check again.
At disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Am I getting that +2?
Yeah.
So that'd be a total of 10.
Okay. So it's definitely a fail. It's not a critical fail, but as you are trying to pull yourself up, you unfortunately, because you're still slick with blood, your own blood, as you grab Sharp's hand, he's not expecting the slickness of it all, and you slip and you fall down into the glass, falling prone and taking 6 slashing damage.
Still alive.
What, you got like 2 vitality points left or something?
4.
Oh,
So you're prone. Unfortunately, you need to stand up, which is going to take a dexterity check to not fall back down.
So far, it's like, that's fine. I live here now. I live here.
this is my home now. Just like,
So is this athletics, acrobatics?
wait, we can do this better. We can go ahead and we can hand the rope to him through the window, and we can have him tie the rope around his waist and pull him up by the rope.
Or just hold on to it.
I don't trust him doing that. His hands will probably give way because he's too slick with blood.
Yeah, but he can't really tie the rope around his waist lying in glass.
And wrap it around an arm, though. So I will feed a rope out the window.
Okay. So Sharp has just fed this rope to you, Jofar.
Okay.
So you grab it.
Yep.
All right. And so now the strength athletics check is Sharp's to make.
Let's see.
I will, before I pull you up, just so you know, if you die here, you're fired.
I'm going to grab the back of the rope.
Natural 20.
Oh, okay.
Fine then, fuck me.
So you guys managed to finally drag Jofar into the room. He's bleeding profusely. He has lacerations all over his torso and legs. He's really lucky that he didn't sever a hamstring or his Achilles. And what, you have leather armor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's torn to shreds.
Not anymore, you don't.
It's basically non-existent.
I mean, it'll do for the rest of this adventure, but if you want to, it's not going to last very long or be very effective in the long term. So you're definitely going to have to get yourself some new armor.
New threads.
Okay.
And
And I would assume that the torch is probably in the glass somewhere.
Yeah. In fact, Sharp, how did you manage to climb the window while holding the torch?
I, to be honest, wasn't thinking about it, but I probably would have thrown the torch through the window.
Okay. Good thing no one was in there.
Oh,
Waiting.
my eye!
I mean, I would have been in trouble no matter what if I was crawling through with like a torch in my teeth halfway through the window.
Out of curiosity, how high up are the cages?
So the tops of the cages are 10 feet up.
And and is there anything inside the cages?
No. All the doors have been ripped off, though. And are any of you proficient in Arcana?
I am.
Okay. You can go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
19.
Okay. So I'm going to send you a bit of information.
Something that can rip the doors off of cages worries me.
I'm curious about why there were cages here in the first place and what was in them.
Isn't it
I mean,
obvious?
they're big enough. They're big enough. It doesn't have to be people, but
Isn't it obvious? A library, books, a kitchen, cages. This was a BDSM club.
I don't know where you learn these things. Kids today.
How old am I this time? It keeps changing. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is canon now. I have some disease that keeps automatically changing my age randomly, but never above 20.
All right, Kurt, sent.
These cages probably were holding people, since they appear to be designed to block teleportation magic. So either that, or maybe rich people eat blink dogs or something like that. Somebody has to eat blink dogs. Somewhere in the world, there's somebody who considers that a delicacy.
Okay, then.
Probably over Adrian's. Is it cool if we take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Dun dun dun.
Mm.
I knew I should have played a cleric again.
Yeah, things are more difficult if you don't have anybody that can consistently heal.
Damn it, why did my brother leave? Oh, sure, he can be the one with the medicine chest and the thief tools. No. Ugh. Let's see here. Oh. Poor Joe Farr's just been getting his ass kicked these sessions.
Yeah.
In every check we've had to do, luckily, has been something my character's good at when it comes to life or death, but goddamn. Could Peter's luck be any worse? And he never has this problem when he's DMing, if you notice.
Well, the 14 AC hurt him in the first fight because he kept getting hit.
I think he said 12.
He's got to have, I mean, he had leather armor and dexterity of some sort. What
Yeah,
is Joe Farr's dexterity?
+1.
You're
Not
more of a
studded.
strength ranger then?
More like your friendly neighborhood ranger.
More like a leather rebel. New rule: Joe Farr's not allowed to
Okay,
go outside alone.
never mind then. It probably is. It probably is 12 AC then. Leather armor +1 dex. So some of it is bad luck, but at 12 AC in a fight where the maniac cannibals were all up close.
And the crossbow guy.
Right. And then
All right.
standing in the doorway with all of the rats attacking at once.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So, next, you guys are in this room that appears to have been designed with some kind of cages within. In the direction opposite from where you climbed in, towards your right, there is a rounded hallway going off into the distance.
Does it look like this hallway was placed here after the fall? Or I'm trying to figure out why it's so close to the ceiling.
It's not. It's so this is all like a single room. You guys are just because this building is in effect upside down.
Mhm.
Like the floor and the ceiling are just all of a consistent height.
I see.
And like I said before, these rooms are still intact. They weren't like crushed or collapsed as one might expect, much like the other half of Hull Rock Hall collapsed in.
So I would be in the lead.
I'll follow along afterwards. We have to move a bit slower because I think Jofar has half movement speed.
I would whisper to Silhana. I rarely say this, but I think it's now your job to make sure Jofar stays alive. Normally, I ask him to protect you, but he's not really in shape for that.
As I suddenly become 17 from 5. I look behind me. How does he look?
Jofar?
I look like hell. Eyes are bloodshot. There's these huge scratch and claw marks all over him. Clothes are bloody. Looks
He's
haggard,
limping.
tired, limping.
I go ahead, turn back around, and whisper to Shaw. Are you certain he's not dead already?
Oh, I imagine Joe gives like a thumbs up and says, "I'm fine."
I'll make it.
Okay.
Sorry. Just trying to find something because there's something that's a little weird here.
I'm still angry that we missed the wand of Orcus in the other room with the girl singing the lullaby.
Whereas I'm kind of already, because of Joe Farr's condition, thinking of maybe we should just leave. Come back another day.
You want him to try to make it across the glass again?
I'm just afraid that what we're going to face up ahead is worse than making it across the glass again.
Okay. So you follow the rounded hallway, and eventually it leads to a door. Now, obviously, this does create a bit of a situation because the door is placed where it should be, which is about 10 feet. Well, because this is the room is 20 feet. It's like a normal 8-foot door. So the doorknob is like 15 feet up.
And Sharp is not 10 feet tall, is he?
Nope.
And this also creates issues in case anybody wants to try to listen in what's behind the door,
Right.
or
Yeah,
going
probably.
in.
Probably not going to be able to do that. Here's what we can do. I don't know how you're fixed for Kai points, but I am about 6 feet tall. You can get on my shoulders and step of the wind up.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I would like to climb the Sharp and then step of the wind up to the door, open it, and flip myself inside.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics check to see how well you manage to do that.
Okay, that's good. 22.
Okay. Yeah, you do it and you make it look easy.
What murders me on the other side?
So this room is, if I'm looking at it right, and I am, this room was once a bedchamber. The poster bed and desk had been smashed to pieces against what is the floor, but once was a ceiling. But there is one noteworthy item that seems to have survived intact, which is a chest of blackened steel and marked with the symbol of House Vidalis.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody remember what House Vidalis is?
I have that written down.
I do not remember.
House Vidalis is the dragon-marked house of handling. So they are known for breeding the mage-bred animals, which are animals that are usually have qualities that make them hardier or more fit for particular tasks. And also in terms of training and domesticating more exotic type of mounts and pets.
Their symbol's the one with the griffin and the tree, right?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, do I see any living thing in here, or any continued blood trails?
No.
Nope. Okay. I'll call back. I don't see anything alive. Wait, is there a way out of here other than this door?
There is a door on the opposite end. It is similarly high, but that door looks more like a closet. To your left, there's also a door. That seems more like a regular door.
You know what? There's no glass in here. We got plenty of wood from beds. I think we can build something up to it. There are other doors in here, and there's also a giant strong box, apparently, or chest, with the words, with the symbol of House Vidalis on it. Would one of you like to throw me your rope?
I will hurl up. I will hold one end and hurl up the coils of rope.
Okay.
I'll catch that.
I mean, I'm not generally speaking that mercenary, but we owe our landlord a lot of money. I want to know what's in that chest.
Me too. Now, this is a big, heavy steel chest, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blackened steel.
Black and steel. I'm gonna go up to the chest and I'm gonna tie the rope around it once and use that to help me pull this guy up. Because I don't think I'm actually strong enough to pull him up.
Okay. You can do that.
And then I'll try getting... who wants to come up first?
I would suggest you go first, Joe, since if you fall, I can try to catch you. I don't trust you to catch me.
Why not?
I'm afraid I'll kill him if he tries to catch me.
Yeah, you might want to start taking off your armor so we don't have to lift that up as well.
So what do I need? What kind of check do I need to do?
I think I have to do a check as well.
So you guys are pulling Joe Farr up?
I'm pulling him up, and I think that Sharp is pushing him up.
That's fine. We'll just say that after some doing, you're able to get Joe Farr into the room.
Okay.
All right, I'm relieved.
Wait, you relieved yourself?
Then I would go next. But I'm not taking off my armor. I've seen what an unarmored Joe Farr looks like.
Okay, I'll stop pulling him up.
I mean, now Joe Farr's there to help. He's apparently your friendly neighborhood strength ranger, albeit an exhausted one.
No, it's perfectly fine. We also have the black box helping us.
Wait a minute.
I mean, you might want to see if there's like...
You tied the rope around the box?
The one end of it, yeah. So that in that case, if I go ahead and messed up on my save, the box would stop them from smashing into the ground and dying horribly.
Okay, so before any of that happens, actually, because you touched the box...
Oh, dear.
The trap.
It's a mimic.
We're just waiting on the other side for like an hour. What is that?
Yeah, so actually, Solana goes in and tries wrapping this rope around the box and touches it. From the open door, Jofar and Sharp see a sudden flash. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, dex save. Ooh, that's not bad. Not and then okay, so that plus 5, so that's 20 exactly. Not natural.
Okay. So you take 5 lightning damage
Ow.
as the trap in that is imbued within the blackened steel chest explodes in lightning, covering the entire area in a sphere of lightning.
It's a trap.
At least Jofar wasn't in the room.
Yep.
I saved his life.
So yeah, you guys can go ahead and start trying to bring Joe and Sharp up now.
Never mind.
And you guys are in the room.
What was that flash?
The chest appears to have been trapped. Lightning.
You notice a couple of hairs on Silhana's head sizzling.
Oh, no.
She may or may not have eyebrows anymore.
It looks like this. That's exactly what you're seeing the hairs up.
So how heavy does this chest look?
Looks
we
pretty
sure
heavy.
Doesn't look like it'd be convenient to carry it, but also looks a little sturdy to break it.
You do have a crowbar. Or we could just try opening it. It might not be locked.
It would take some doing. It does look pretty heavy. You probably could carry it around, but you probably need 2 people to carry it. Because it does appear to be made of steel, which Silhana can confirm it is made of some kind of metal. And it does have a lock on it. It's actually the lock doesn't seem to be a normal lock. Anyone can give me an intelligence check. If you have proficiency in history, you can use your proficiency bonus. Or if you would have any special knowledge about the Dragonmark houses.
I got a 16.
Okay. So the lock is actually a dragon shard lock, which it makes it a little bit more difficult to pick than your average lock, though certainly it still can be picked. But typically these marks respond to those who bear the mark of handling, since this is, or you would assume, since the chest also has the emblem of House Vidalis upon it.
That explains why it really didn't like me much.
Well, we can't defeat the lock now, and carrying it with us would be a little bit of a burden since it's not actually what we're here to find anyway, near as we can tell. It's probably been here for quite a while since the whole place was turned upside down. I think if we really want it, we can come back for it later. Maybe after we've located Varys, and maybe we can just open the box at that point.
Let's not forget, it does have hinges on the back. We can maybe knock those out.
Maybe, but I don't know if we can do it without making a ton of noise.
I
Oh,
think
you've already
we're
made
here.
a ton of noise with the
Yeah.
explosion.
I think they know we're here by
It was not just a flash. It was also a flash and a very loud buzz, similar to when a transformer explodes. Not a cartoon transformer.
It was a box in disguise. I think they know we're here by now. Let's just get in the box. We need the money.
Well, hey, Joe, you got that crowbar handy?
Yep, sure. You need it.
Yep.
Hand him the crowbar.
Opening a magic box that shoots lightning with a metal crowbar. What could go wrong?
I take a couple steps back.
I will try to open the box with the crowbar.
Okay. It explodes in lightning again. Jofar backed up sufficiently so that he is not going to be hurt. Solana and Sharp need to give me dexterity saving throws. Sharp, yours is at disadvantage since you're holding a big metal crowbar.
Haha. I got a 16.
17.
All right. So you guys both take 4 lightning damage. I'm so glad, Joe, that you said that you were backing up.
Yeah. You know, I think whoever made this box really doesn't want us getting in.
Wait, did my attempt do anything or just set off the trap and then nothing?
you just set up the trap. If you want, Sharp, you can do either an investigation or Arcana check on the box.
They're basically the same for me, so I will do either one. That's 17.
Or which one?
I'll say Arcana.
Okay.
16 investigation.
So for the Arcana check, you don't really get too much from that. But from the investigation check, you see that now on closer look, scorch lines are all around the chest with no apparent tripwires or triggers. And then that's when you notice that just below the sigil of House Vidalis, there's also a glyph inscribed on the chest that seems to be having a faint afterglow that's fading longer, more and more after as time goes on since the trap was triggered.
So there's this glyph here. I'm not sure if it's running out of juice. It's probably not. It's probably just going to recharge and go off again every time we try to open it. Hey, maybe we should just search this room. Maybe there's a key.
That's just what they want you to think.
I mean, even sealed, I'll bet you we can get some money for this if we turned it over to House Vidalis.
The problem is we
It's
can't
got their
actually
mark on
carry
it.
it.
Like I said, if we come back for it. It's probably been here for 80 years. And apparently, if any of the Reavers come to get it, it just shocks them to death. So, probably pretty safe. But
Alright,
with
so-
that, I would begin searching the room for a key.
All right, give me an investigation check.
19.
You don't seem to see anything that might be a key. Let me see. Nothing in here that you would consider to be a key for that particular lock.
Well, that was fun. We should probably move along. So what are the ways out of this room again? There's the closet-looking door.
Right, and then there's another door that is to the left of where you entered.
Do either of these doors have glyphs on them?
No.
Good, good.
I assume they're still up in the air, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I will get under the non-closet door, thinking, I'll put the keys in that closet.
Okay, how high up's this door?
Same as the other one. It's a good
15
15 feet up to the knob.
Is there anything in this room that isn't a killer box that we can stand on?
Everything else is pretty well smashed to bits.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any pieces of wood that look like from the bed frame or anything like that that look like they're wider than the door frame?
Wider than the door frame?
Like something that if we throw her up there, we can then throw up this piece of wood so she can tie the piece of rope around it and brace it across the door frame so that when we're trying to climb up.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, you can find something like that. You can also, if you took all of the debris in the room, you could potentially pile it up to give another 5 feet of clearance.
We should do that too.
Because I have one key point left, and after that I can't keep jumping.
Well, after that we just have to rest here in the safety of a room we can't get out of, so probably nothing can get in. That's my thinking on that.
Good idea.
We'll just douse the torches and hide in here for 8 hours so that Joe Farr can recover.
I'll be fine. That's how we save him.
The last thing that Reavers will expect is for us to be hiding right here in the middle of their tower. So yeah, we should take the time to stack up things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to have to go pretty soon.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to try and set this up to be a place where you take a long rest?
Seems like it would make sense.
I think we might have to, because this seems to be the safest area we found so far, as long as no one touches the box.
Well, I have to say, if we're going to do a long rest, which I don't mind because I know Joe Farr might die in the next room. He might, when we stack up the debris to give us an extra 5 feet, he might slip and fall off the pile.
Yep, and that would kill him.
Accidentally break his neck.
Yeah.
But since you have you could still do one more leap. We ought to try that closet where I think the key may be.
Okay, here we go. Sure, I'll do it. I'll do the closet.
Okay. Give me an investigation check in closet.
Okay. Oh yeah, and I get my +4. Lovely. That is 19 total. I'm inside the closet. What do I see?
Will Solana come out of the closet?
This is going to be the day when I do. I'm going to have to come out the closet. Come on, it's not like you guys didn't know to begin with. I mean, really.
Right. He's a gladiator, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think I wear so little clothing? Always on display, constantly.
While you guys are in the room, you hear a grunt, a small crash, and a doink.
A small crash and a what?
How much
that
damage did I
coming from-
take?
Oh, you didn't take any damage.
Oh, okay. I pick it up and try to see what it is.
It looks just like a strange gem with kind of a bluish gem with black and gold veins kind of suffused through it, and a metal prong is it's got like it has like metal around it, like jewelry, like it almost looks like some kind of jewelry. Like the gem is embedded within this metal, and then there's like just a straight prong that comes out from the metal.
So kind of like a wand or a scepter or something? Holding an arcane focus kind of thing?
but really a lot smaller than that.
Mhm.
Like probably only about 4 inches total.
It's a doll's wand. Oh shit, we're fighting Chucky, the wizard.
That's okay.
Okay.
We got his wand.
We do. We have his arcane focus. He can't cast spells now. Okay, anything else in here?
No.
No? Okay. I'm going to put that in my pocket and lower myself down slowly again into Sharp's waiting arms. So I
Okay.
take a bunch of fall damage.
You have slow fall yet?
No, I get that at level 6, I believe.
All right. So,
Was there anything in there, like a key?
I hold out the object. Does it look similar to the glyph?
no.
Aw. I'm sorry, guys. I tried being smart.
Though Jofar and Sharp, you would likely recognize the gem as a dragon shard.
So that's something.
It's the key.
I mean, I would look at the chest one more time, hopefully without touching it, looking to see if there's any way this could be used as a key. Like you said, there's a prong coming out of it. Is there like a hole that looks like it might get inserted into?
Mm-hmm. It might even fit.
All right. You two back up.
Oh yeah, I've already done that.
I'm backing up.
I'm going to try to insert this thing into, like, it is a key.
All right. So upon inserting it, well, even before then, the dragon shard and the glyph glow at the same time. And then, but it doesn't seem to do anything. And then you insert the key or what you think is the key, and the chest opens.
Glad this wasn't like a key to just a different chest. So with that, I will look inside. I will do like a test tap on the lid before looking inside, before sticking my face down.
It's
For it
Baby
to blow up
Yoda.
on me. Yeah, like Wile E. Coyote traps. But then I'll look inside.
So you notice a couple of things. There looks to be a potion of healing. There's also 2 letters of credit for 250 Galifar each, as well as a pouch full of 50 Galifar. There's a leather-bound journal within that seems to bear the seal of House Vidalis. And then also I'm gonna roll on my random magic item table. Something I haven't had a chance to do yet. Let's see. Let's see what you guys what else you guys find in here.
What was notable about the journal? I started typing and
It's a leather-bound journal. It's just flipping through it. It seems to be handwritten, and it bears the seal of House Vidalis on the front of it.
now I'm wondering what happens when you turn up saying, I have an 80-year-old letter of credit that I would like to cash in.
It's still good.
Okay.
Confederate currency. It's still good.
D100. Okay. D4. 3. D20.
That's a lot of D's.
I'm gonna do that
Well,
again.
There was a lot of potential D's when I was talking about inserting my 4-inch wand into this hole.
There was. After I came out of the closet.
Right.
You also find within a dread helm.
I don't know what that is. A helm of some sort.
A dreadful idea. Let's look it up online and see what the internet says. In
Um,
internet I trust.
And the only reason I'm sharing it is because it's a common enough magic item that you wouldn't need to have it identified. But I'll send a description right here.
Oh, is that the one that makes your like eyes glow red?
Yeah, it's basically like gives you thaumaturgy.
Mm.
Yeah, fearsome steel helmet that makes your eyes glow red while you wear it. It doesn't even do any of the other things.
What we have to do is put it on Zophar and everyone will run from us instead of attacking him. It'll be perfect.
So, I sent that to just Solana.
Oh dear.
So yeah, so you guys did get the potion of healing though in there as well.
Yay.
And the journal is written in common, so you could read it as well during if somebody wanted to during this long rest.
I would read it during the rest.
I'll read it over his shoulder so I can memorize everything perfectly.
All right, so Kurt, at some point I'll email you what is contained within the journal.
Yeah, actually, given I would have to say just for purely practical reasons, because Sharp is practical, he would probably give it to Silhana since he knows Silhana can memorize the whole thing word for word, whereas
Okay.
he can't. So it's probably more important that it go to her.
All right. So
And
I
he
can.
mostly just assumes like, hey, maybe we'll be able to get a few more Galfar selling this to somebody from House Fidelis.
Or another house who wants blackmail stuff.
Right. I mean, I don't even know if there's blackmail stuff in there. I assume it's more much like the Dreadhelm. The Dreadhelm, I assume, is like my parents went to the Skyway and all I got with this lousy Dreadhelm is somewhere printed on it. I assume at this point, 80 years later, whatever scandal there is in that journal is probably moot.
Yeah, it depends. If they're elves, it could be still new
That's true.
to them.
It's House Fidelis elves. I thought
It's all human. It's a
Yeah,
human
that's
Dragomark
Yeah,
house.
human.
All right. So I'll send Solana. I'll send you an email with what's contained within the journal.
Okay.
And then you guys will be able to get a long rest in. There's not going to be any interference or anything like that. So go ahead and fill up your stuff and give yourselves back half your level worth of hit dice if you've had to use any. Sharp, Jofar, you still will have one level of exhaustion because you can only heal one exhaustion per long rest.
All right.
And while we rest, I would at least suggest to Silhana, I think we should give the potion of healing to Jofar.
Wow.
I know.
By the way, Jofar, did you ever go back and pick up your hammer?
I don't know if I said it, but I would have.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he
was
was
just
picking up
joking
all
about
those
that.
ball bearings.
Yeah.
The hammer got in the way.
So focused on picking up the ball bearings, he forgot about his hammer.
All right. How are people feeling about the game so far?
I think we need to go ahead and find something to give so far so he doesn't keep getting beaten up like this.
Well, here's the good news. The good news is I think we have found enough money that we can pay our rent and get Jofar studded leather armor.
I thought you were going to say hire somebody to protect me.
We might be able to do that too, but I was thinking more directly. Maybe even give you, since you use like a hammer anyway, maybe get you like a shield.
Ooh. An official-looking shield with the 4 Daggers
Right.
Detective Agency as the logo on it.
Ooh.
Right. In fact, right. And like the name blazoned across it. So it's just like a constant ad. Like, like he's walking around carrying a billboard. Like one of those people who just stands on the sidewalk wearing a sign.
Oh my! As part of the long rest, once I finish reading the journal and copying down what I need to, I'm going to get the helmet and I'm going to write on the back of it 4 Daggers Detective Agency.
I think we would also, I don't know if Jofar wants a helmet, but we would at least offer Jofar the helmet.
It is an air of authority.
Yeah.
And, a helmet in case something attacks your face like a rat. Like maybe the glowing red eyes will put the rats off next time.
I would just like to say, whenever Pete's DMing, his rolls are fantastic. He's getting natural 20s constantly and everything else. The minute he comes here, he's just getting his butt kicked everywhere.
No, I had 3 natural 20s in this game and lost them to the disadvantage.
Exactly.
Yeah, exhaustion is brutal.
It is.
And every time you go into vitality points, you gain a level of exhaustion. So, yeah. But is the game going as people expected it to? Is everybody generally happy with the direction and everything so far?
I'm I'm happy with the direction. I don't know that I would. I have no idea. I had no idea really where the game was going, so I don't know what to judge that against. The only thing I was surprised about, and not necessarily unpleasantly, is that this isn't just wall-to-wall fights with Reavers, which is what I was expecting when we walked in here.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, you
And
guys did
I am
avoid
glad.
one.
I am glad that the nursery rhyme humming thing did not chase us down, because I was afraid of that, fighting it on the glass, particularly if it's like incorporeal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You guys did a good job to avoid that. I'm not gonna say more than that. And there was an encounter with the Reavers that you guys did miss. I will say the only reason that they reacted the way that they did was because they heard Solana kick the door in. And so they knew that somebody was out there, which is why they were able to hide behind the stuff.
See?
Kicking doors
Um,
saves lives.
No, and not the door that they were, but there was another door before that that was kicked open. The library.
Right. Not when Jofar kicked open the rat door. That didn't help.
No.
Just when Solana did it.
Right. So that's when they knew. When you guys kicked down that door, and especially when they heard Jofar scream as he got his eyes gouged out by rats, they knew that, oh, this might be a good time to run.
That's okay.
So
Good
I'm sure, I'm hoping we find like another exit so we don't have to go back, because they're probably waiting back there. Maybe not through the long rest though. Like at some point they'll be like, where the hell are they?
I hope they're okay. They've been gone a long time. Oh, I hope nothing happened to them. Meanwhile, standing behind the door with a knife in their hands.
I've also been I've been playing it a little more realistic. Like there's a part of me that's so completionist, me as a human being, that kills me to walk past doors and not go and investigate the room. But like I figure he wouldn't necessarily give a crap about what's in every room. Like he knows they're not putting it in any of the easy to get to rooms. What we need, it's somewhere hard to get to.
Right.
So just walk past all these nonsense doors, rooms filled with rats.
Oh, it's fine. They're just rats. What could a group of rats do to 3 seasoned adventurers, really?
Gang up on one of them, apparently.
They also had pack tactics, which is why they were so effective when they were right there.
With advantage, yeah.
So yeah.
God. It was terrible.
Oh.
But you're going to come out of this with a dread helm and a potion of healing. All paid off in the end.
Or maybe not a potion of healing. Depends how
It's
it
not
goes.
over yet.
Oh yeah. Let's just say you guys chose a good time to take a long rest.
This dungeon was designed for 4 people, not 3.
That is true as well. Well, let's see. Was it 3 to 4 or was it 4?
And having my brother disappear with so many very useful and needed skills.
Right.
Yeah, that hurts as well.
Medicine, all that
Hopefully we'll have my buddy Joe will be coming on. Oh yeah, 4 to 6.
It's fine. We got this.
Jofar is worth at least 2, though. So.
Yes. Well, we have
Twice
vitality points as opposed to death save, so it does help a bit.
And
But
it's
when
also. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, but when you run out of vitality points.
Yeah. Well, don't run out of vitality points.
I was close. I've been close both games.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
I mean, Mike said his friend can't start until after Thanksgiving, but that's next session.
Yeah. Hopefully. We'll see.
Hopefully I'll fix my computer by then. Yay!
All right. I have to go to bed.